Hi everybody, welcome to Privies and Prims. This is a little extra video today. I'm going to show you how I finished my latest cross stitch. This is the finish here, and there's the bucket. So I'm going to show you that this started as this from Dollar Tree. So you can take things this was only $1.25, and actually I bought this last year. So last summer it was probably $1, not even $1.25. So I'm going to explain to you how I did this finish. But you can see the bucket there. It's completely different. These are Hobby Lobby flowers that I also bought last year when they were on clearance at the end of fall. And then this is a cross stitch by Lori Brecklin, Not Forgotten Farm. It is not on her website. It is a freebie in the Facebook group called Prim Stitchers Society. And it's called Pumpkin Cottage. I did change some of the colors, like the windows over here were supposed to be different colors, and I did them all the same color. And some of my colors are different. I just toned it down a little bit from what there was, but most of them are the same. So let's get into this tutorial of how I did this. So I took this bucket, and it's just galvanized tin, plain bucket. It is, measure it across the top, 6 inches across the top. So for size reference, that's what it is. First thing I did was spray paint this black, the whole bucket, black spray paint. And then I took 2 colors, which you don't have to use the exact colors. This is Folk Art Matte Finish, Toasted Terracotta. So I took that and mixed it with some of the Americana paint, which is desert sand. And that got me, I'm sorry, I got a glare from my light, but that got me the color that I wanted. This was a little dark to match, to go with the stitching. So what I ended up with was just right. So what I did is I took the bucket, and I'll show you, see, I don't have a paintbrush here with me, but after I painted it black, I mixed up my paint. And then I took a paintbrush and I just dabbed it like this all over. And that gave it a little bit of texture rather than brushing it on. So I just dabbed it all over the bucket till the whole thing was covered. And then of course, I set it outside to dry. And then I took some of this, which is burnt umber. Again, it does not have to be these brands or these colors. This is just what I did. And I watered it down. I put some water in a bowl, and I dipped my paintbrush in the water and then in the paint, so it was really watery and runny. I brushed it all over this and then wiped it off with a rag. So what that did was gave it the antique-y look rather than just the orange. And you can see, if you can see it, it's a little darker here and here. And that, to me, just adds to it because that just makes it look more antique-y. And then I took just a clear spray paint and sprayed the whole bucket. Now on the inside, these flowers are just sitting in here with, I just bent the stem up. So on the inside, I only went so far down with the paint, with the orange, because you're not going to see down in here anyway. Normally I would put the flowers in and then maybe some moss or something in here to fill in the rest of the space. That's totally up to you. If this is sitting on a shelf like this, nobody's going to walk up and look down inside the basket, inside the bucket. So, you know, it's, and again, this is, here's what it looks like inside. So it's fine if you don't put anything else in it because it's not normally going to be moved around. It's just going to sit there. So as far as the cross stitch, I took my cross stitch and I cut it to the size I want it, and I folded it back and ironed it. Then I took a piece of Warm and Natural quilt batting and put it behind it, because most of the time when I'm stitching, I use knots when I start a new thread. And I know you're not supposed to do that, but I do. And by using that Warm and Natural behind it, it makes it so you don't see the little lumps where the knots were. It also just gives it, I think, a better texture because it's not flat against the metal. So that's Warm and Natural behind it. I used just some Elmer's spray adhesive on the back of the Warm and Natural and then stuck it to the back of the stitched piece. folded the ends over and ironed it. Then I hot glued it onto the bucket. And then I took the chenille trim and just a thin bead of hot glue all the way around and attached that. And that is the finish, and that's how I did it. So I hope that helps you. I always try to think outside the box on my finishes. You know, it's easy to just frame them. I do that when I don't really want to do anything else, but I like to do something unique. I had no idea I was going to do this today. I came into my room and I trimmed up my stitching, and I went to go into the closet to see what kind of things I had that I could use. And I just happened to see a bucket sitting here that I had already spray painted black that I was going to use for something completely different. And I thought, let me see if this works. And so it was just enough, you know, height to fit that on there. And I really like it. So there again is the whole finish. And that is it. So I will be doing another video for my regular floss tube, but I wanted to put this in here as a tutorial. And I have more things coming, so make sure you subscribe, hit the thumbs up, and after you subscribe, ring that little bell and select all, and you will get a notification when I post a new video. So bye everybody, I'll see you soon on my floss tube.